Hello there. How are you today? My name is Olamide Adeleke. I usually refer to myself as an ambassador of Christ. I trust you are well as always, and I'm sure you are grateful for the privilege of a brand new day. Without much ado, let's get right into it. In the prior content, I covered the traditions of wealth from principle 1 down to principle 8, and in this content we'll continue right from where we stopped. Principle 9: recognize your risk tolerance level. There is no perfectly safe investment. An investment could go south at any moment. To identify good investment, you must look at that value in terms of a company's earnings or its assets. Prudent investor is disciplined and understands exactly how much risk he can afford to take with each investment. Don't use funds you cannot afford to lose. Don't overcommit. Don't overtrade. Don't buy stocks excessively. Don't sell stocks excessively. Don't be greedy, and don't trade with emotions. Another point is beware of Ponzi schemes. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. In that book, there's the story of an American fraudster who goes by the name Bernie Madoff. He executed the largest Ponzi scheme in history, defrauding thousands of investors to a tune of almost $65 billion. That's a lot of money. So don't be greedy in your investments. You can check out that particular man probably on the net, or you can watch a documentary which I watched. I think the name of that documentary is Chasing Madoff. You can go online and check it out. So beware of Ponzi schemes and recognize your risk tolerance level. That takes me to the next principle. Develop a personal network of financial contacts. The truth is, successful people are naturally drawn to other successful people, and I'll show you with an example which I'll be uncovering soon. At the very core of your financial relationships, you need a good lawyer, a good banker, a good accountant, and a good investment advisor. I'll repeat that again. A good lawyer, a good banker, a good accountant, and a good investment advisor. The example I wanted to draw from is Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. I remember an article by CNBC that I read about Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. And for those who do not know who Warren Buffett is, Warren Buffett is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, is an investor, and Charlie Munger is the vice president of that same company, Berkshire Hathaway. And this duo, they have been friends for over 6 decades. That's over 60 years. They're also business partners. And this is what Warren Buffett had to say about Charlie Munger, very profound. Remember, we are talking about developing a personal network of financial contacts. He said, it is better to associate with people who are better than you are. He was talking to Charlie Munger. It is better to associate with people who are better than you are. So find people who are better than you are, who have good wisdom, who have better financial illumination, and not even that, in other spheres of life. People who have wisdom in parts that you are ignorant about or know little about. Find people who are better than you are. And that takes me to the next principle. Keep your financial affairs private. That is principle 11. And this is very short. I will not spend too much time on that as the principle is quite elaborate. Keep your financial affairs private. And the reason why the book stated this principle is to shove away tax collectors and greedy lawyers. Of course, it's very important you pay your tax. We are all about reducing tax, but not to evade tax. Remember, the first one, reducing tax is legal. Evading tax is illegal. So keep your financial affairs private. The next principle, principle 12, reduce your taxes. You can set up trusts, invest in tax-free mutual funds to reduce your taxes. One of the best ways to reduce taxes is to contribute to a retirement account. The country where I am from in Africa is called Nigeria. And one way to reduce tax in Nigeria, which I found out by research, is to donate money to NGOs, non-governmental organizations. You can donate to the Boys Brigade, ICANN, Nigerian Red Cross, Girls Guide, even Christian associations and Islamic associations. By that, you can actually reduce tax. Remember, note that I said reduce tax, not evade tax. We are not evading tax here, that is illegal. There's a research I did which is very shocking to me. I wanted to find out how many Nigerians actually pay tax. And according to the Federal Inland Revenue Service, October 8, 2021, it says that only 41 million people pay taxes in Nigeria out of over 200 million population in the century. Isn't that shocking? Only 41 million people out of 200 million people in the country pay taxes. And that moves me to principle 13. Plan your estate to beat inheritance taxes. First of all, write a will. And I'm sure you guys must be shocked. A will? I'm too young for that. I'm yet ready to die and all of that. Well, I haven't written mine, but it's very important, and that's why we are learning. First of all, write a will. Whether you are single or married, old or young, healthy or ill, you must at the very least prepare this principal estate document to instruct your survivors about how to distribute your property. If a person dies without a will in the US, the court controls one's estate and actually writes a will for you. In Nigeria here, you cannot overemphasize the need for a will, honestly. And the reason why I was laughing at that particular moment was because of a movie I watched on Netflix, Chief Daddy. If you have not watched that movie, you can go out and watch it. You can check it out on Netflix. Anyways, they are not sponsoring this. I'm just saying it because I remembered the movie. A lot of tantrum and eludes in that movie, all because a billionaire died and then family members started popping out from nowhere to claim his properties. Just watch out. You can check it out if you have time. So in Nigeria, you cannot overemphasize the need for a will. You must ensure that you document how you want your properties to be shared or distributed. And that moves me to principle 14. Create trusts to protect your assets. Trust. You can create trust. Probably if you are married and you have children, you can buy properties or allocate properties to your children or your heir to actually reduce taxes. So you can create trust for your children and whosoever you want to inherit your property so as to reduce tax. And this is what great men did at some point. People like John D. Rockefeller, they actually created trust for their children to reduce tax. And that moves me to principle 15. Understand the importance of family solidarity. Wow, when I read this, I loved it. Educate your children about managing wealth. Instill a sense of purpose among all members of your family. Let them know about wealth. Explain what wealth is to them. Every member must participate in helping that family progress according to each other's capabilities, just as they will share in the family's fortune. please, the best thing you can do for your child after instilling spiritual knowledge and moral training is to impart financial knowledge into that child. Even the scriptures, I think is in Proverbs 22:6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and that he also qualifies for a girl, for a female child. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. So instill financial discipline, financial literacy in your children. Let them know how money is spent, especially when they come of age. A family with a sense of purpose, a unique identity, and a strong bond of kinship is the foremost resource for enduring prosperity. You can write that down. So understand the importance of family solidarity. Come together as a family and plan your financial capability. Set goals. Where do you want to reach as a family? And that moves me to the next principle, principle 16. And I think that's the final principle. Wealth does not automatically pass from generation to generation. It must be carefully protected, renewed, and augmented again and again. Just because you have money does not mean that it will last to other generations. There's a family that I will not mention of in Nigeria that they used to be very wealthy, but the generation as at now is not even mentioned like right now in Nigeria, and that's a result of the children not able to manage the wealth. That is why it is critical to instill the values inherent in this book in your family, including hard work, discipline, frugality, savings, and patience. The scripture says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. I think that should be Proverbs 13:22. A good man thinks generationally. He does not just prepare for his children's future, but for his grandchildren. I must be saying, I've not even taken care of mine. How come? How should I be thinking of that? Yes, it's very important to plan for as you are planning for your own future, plan for your children's future and that of your grandchild. So leave something. It could even be knowledge. The knowledge you impart in your children will be imparted even onto the next generation. So that's why the place of knowledge, the place of financial illumination, the place of financial light is very important. There's a particular paragraph in the book which I would like you to listen to carefully, and if you could actually jot it down, you can jot it down. The duty of each generation, a duty that your children and grandchildren must understand and accept if wealth is to endure, is twofold. One is to protect the wealth they are given, and two, to add to it for future generations. Very profound statement. And this brings us to the end of the book. We've covered principle 1 to 8 in the prior content. If you have not watched it, like I said earlier, go and watch it. And in this video, we covered from principle 9 to principle 16, and we have come to the end of it. I'll just give my final thoughts. One, I will say invest in financial knowledge. Take time out. Give your devotion to reading books, watching videos. Have people you look up to. You cannot overemphasize the need for financial illumination. Think wealth thoughts. It's a scripture that says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You cannot think wealth thoughts and remain poor as long as you back it up with action. And a man who thinks poor thoughts will remain poor because, of course, he will take action to always be poor. So think wealth thoughts and have a long-term perspective. Don't be short-sighted. I think those are my final thoughts. And book suggestions. There's a book I read in my year 2 in Covenant University. I think that was 2018. Yes, 2018. That book is called The Richest Man in Babylon. It changed my perspective. I had saved, I started investing, I had great financial illumination after reading that book, and I wanted to know more. So you can pick up that book, The Richest Man in Babylon. You can search it for it online. You can get it on Amazon or any bookstore. Wow. I want to thank you all for doing this with me, for listening, and please, if you have anything, you can actually write in the comment section. Please like this content so other people get to see it and actually learn from this. The book Traditions of Wealth is very dynamic and very resourceful. So subscribe if you have not subscribed. Please subscribe so you can get more content that can add value to your life. We are all learning and we are all lifelong learners. So pay attention to this channel, and God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much. My name is Olamide Dolako.